If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel.
If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. I'm your host, the Innkeeper, and this is our live call and talk show all about the Wheel of Time. And we're back tonight for, I want to call this like a little casual What Wednesday. That's right. Wheel of Time hasn't really, given us anything since they gave us everything, I don't know, like 2 weeks ago or something. Season 3, little Season 2 behind the scenes clip. It's gone quiet. And that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to fill some of that silence that they've provided us. And why not do that to talk about Wheel of Time art? That's right, Wheel of Time art plus concept art. We'll go into Season 1 a bit, talk about some of those concept art pieces we saw, what some of them almost promised us as fans, but we didn't get because things changed, I guess, on production. But to do this with me are two wonderful people who have some experience in this department. So let me welcome to the Dusty Wheel, Spare of Time, and Weekly Wheel News. How are you both doing tonight?
Very good, very good. Wait, double way.
I like it. So you both,
mid-flex.
yeah, exactly. Chad, this is your first time on the show. Rob, you're back here, so thank you very much, Chad, for making some time tonight to talk about art itself and jump into a little bit of the concept art that we've gotten from the Wheel of Time. But before we do that, I want to share this with everybody because we have a little special something coming up on Sunday. That's right. This Sunday, before we jump into art, everybody, this Sunday we have a little 3rd year anniversary here at the Dusty Wheel. And I want to share this little clip to tell you, you maybe you heard a little bit of some voices back there. I want to share this. This will give you an idea of some of the fun stuff about to happen here at the Dusty Wheel this Sunday. That's right, 3 p.m. Eastern, our 3rd year anniversary. Enjoy this.
What's going on, my good people? It is your boy Addison and Dre
With the Draco.
and today I guess we're gonna be checking out the original pilot for Wheel of Time. I guess it's titled The Winter Dragon.
The Winter Dragon.
And this one was brought to us by Brother Sips, aka
Brother Sips.
Matt. And after we watch this original pilot, we're gonna watch a cut down version, I think, that Matt the Dusty Wheel they put together. So let's get straight into it without further ado, my brother.
Yes.
May the sip be with you.
Sit be with you.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Honestly, may the sip be with you is like the greatest line. If you have no idea what Brother Sip is, and the sip be with you, there's a couple videos you should check out. So yes, Addison and Andre from the Everyday Negroes YouTube channel, those guys are amazing, and they did react to Winter Dragon. We've seen it.
You can't tell them that.
Well, now they know.
Now
It's
they
live.
know. Yeah, we've seen it. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's absolutely incredible.
So you got to be here on Sunday. Like I said, we'll start at 3 p.m. We're going to go for a couple of hours. We have a bunch of different segments happening in that day. So that's one of them. Chad, you looking forward to being? Are you gonna be there on Sunday to check that out?
I will definitely be there. I'll definitely be there.
I put you on the spot. You know, even if you're not, you should definitely say you are.
No, I totally am. I totally am.
So yeah, that one's gonna be a blast. And well, I won't say anything more about that one. So yeah. See, Taylor wants me to always kind of retain some of this. Now, we just posted this also about Sunday's show, so you might not have seen this one, but this is also something happening on Sunday, so I think you'll enjoy this one too.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel.
Okay, you don't need to watch that whole thing.
No, the Smash the Black part is really fun.
The Smash the Black part is cool. I just want to make everybody have to go through this whole they know they're at the Dusty Wheel. That's
Okay,
cool.
here's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, what are you gonna say?
You're gonna want to be there.
Yes, you're gonna want to be there.
You're gonna want to be there.
I'll be there with Ken.
I'd just be there Sunday.
Wow. Oh, interesting.
I don't know.
I don't know what are you alluding to.
I don't know. I think they should. I just think they should be there.
Whatever.
I mean, there were two reasons right there.
Those are two good reasons.
There's
so
two of the reasons.
Michael
right there.
Livingston will be there with us. Origins of the Wheel of Time. Michael's the author of Origins of the Wheel of Time, and so much more. So we'll talk about. What he is up to and Origins of the Wheel of Time. I think Brian, my friend, that many of you know, Brian the Gleeman. That's right. Will be with us. So, anyways, that's Friday. That's Sunday. That's all we're revealing about Sunday now. We can get back to the art thing.
Those are two of the things that
Yeah,
are happening
those are
on
two of the things.
Sunday that I think are.
Okay,
are
get out
pretty
of here so I
awesome.
can talk to my guest here. So that's going to be fun. That'll be Sunday. Again, like 3 p.m. Eastern, everybody. Please do join us. We'll just have fun. I can't believe it's been 3 years. Rob, it's been what, like 30 years for you, though, as a fan on the Wheel of how long have you been online actually, like, talking about the Wheel of Time? Like 25? Were you there in 97?
95 is when I started.
95. That's right, everybody.
Yeah.
Rob
right
is
when
old.
Lord of Chaos came out. Yeah, I am old.
You are old. And actually, I wanted you to be on this episode because you've actually been part of Wheel of Time art as fans for a very long time. Did you start, was it in 95 when you started some of this, or when did you actually post something that you created from the Wheel of Time?
It was probably 96 because I had started reading the books, right? And, I was getting a ways into them. I was probably up to probably The Great Hunt or The Dragon Reborn at the time when I started. Because one of the first ones I did was a shot of Kyrian, and I think I was at that point in The Great Hunt, maybe the topless towers and stuff, and I was like, hey, I wonder if I could make that. So I had already been like getting into 3D art and stuff like that. And I had a friend who was like huge into Lord of the Rings. Like his whole bedroom was like all of their calendars with the art, and he had
Really?
He had books and all that stuff, right? Because there's so much illustration, over the years for that. And as I was in high school, I was big into Dragonlance, and I used to have like the books by Larry Elmore and all that kind of stuff of his paintings and stuff. And I realized like I want to see what other people think this world looks like, the Wheel of Time, right? And there wasn't anything other than the book covers at the time that I could find anyway. And that was like right when the World Wide Web was taking off. This dates me, right? Like,
the World Wide Web?
Yeah, because at first I was into Usenet, the internet without pictures. If you, back in my day, sound like Senbui.
The internet without pictures, yeah.
Yeah, it was like you just went to an FTP directory and you clicked stuff to download and you didn't know what it was until half an hour later. If your mom didn't pick up the phone and you're like, shh, hang up the phone, Mom, I want the internet. So I started making some of these images, just like of what I thought, something would look like, different scenery. Because the 3D art program that I was using at the time, and this is like before I went to art school and stuff like that. But I'd always done drawing and, things like that. And, high school I did, fantasy art and all sorts of stuff. And the 3D art program I was using.
By the way, before you go, man, this brings back so many memories. Like, I remember seeing this stuff that you were doing. Like, this one especially, like some of these, they were some of the first images I ever saw, like you said, of actual kind of landscape kind of, pictures fans were putting together. So this is like iconic for me, like as a person that was on the internet in the late 90s that was looking for Wheel of Time stuff. Chad, when did you jump onto the internet and start looking for Wheel of Time stuff?
Oh, you know what? I didn't start. So I didn't even know that there was a Wheel of Time community out there. So I mean, I started reading the series like in '96. I think I was like 2 years behind some of my friends on that. But yeah, as far as I created this Spare Time account like 3 years ago maybe, and that's when I didn't even know you guys were out here. I was what? I felt so terrible. Like, I felt stupid and terrible. I'm like, I've been missing out on this for so long. It's crazy. Like because you guys know how it is. During your regular everyday life, it's a miracle when you find somebody that that has read the books, or at least fully read the books. And so I just kind of assumed wrongly for the longest time that there was not a community out there, and I should have known better. It's the internet. I mean,
well, I mean, that's how I got even involved in the fandom, is because, like I said, like I was on my own. I only knew my the two roommates that I had both read this series before, and so they had asked me or I think we were reading the Dark Tower series at the time, and I think like the fourth book had just come out. Like, that's how long ago this was, and I had just finished it, and I was like, crap, I need another book, And so like my two friends that I lived with, they had fantasy book shelves like their whole bedroom, right? Yep. And I was just getting into it. They said, what kind of stuff do you like? And I said, well, I like that Dragonlance book you gave me back in the day and stuff. So, maybe I'll try some fantasy, because I had been reading Michael Crichton and like Stephen King and Dean Koontz and, just popular fiction kind of stuff. And not a whole lot of fantasy. And then, so my roommate goes back into his room and he comes out with Eye of the World, the paperback one that's like this thick, right? Chucks it at my head. and so like I took that book, I read it, and I always tell people like that night I left the Two Rivers with Moraine and Lan, and I never looked back. So so that kind of got me into it, and then I started, like I said, started doing the artwork later, and then the internet was taken off, widely, and so I started posting these things on like Wattmania and
they got around really. The stuff you were posting, all of a sudden everyone had it. It was like, oh yeah, here's a I think I first started posting them on the Usenet, like with just like the links to the stuff and things like that. And that's when I first started, like, all of a sudden, like all these people were like, oh hey, we love your stuff. I'm like, oh cool, other people who's read these books, And so that's what it is. I mean, no, but to Chad's point here, and I just put this poll up, if you're in there with live chat with us, I'm kind of curious of everyone watching us right now, of all of you hardcore fan freaks that on a Wednesday night decided to show up and talk about Wheel of Time art, because why not, right? I'm kind of curious when people found fandom. I've heard that, Chad, so many times, just with the TV series coming out, a lot of fans of the books, and that's where I think they've also done this whole kind of just excitement about the TV series has brought so many book fans online to talk about the Wheel of Time. And now they're talking about it online, regardless if they liked it or didn't like the show. They're now online looking into and kind of joining communities to talk about the Wheel of Time itself, which is very cool. And I've, like you said, Chad, I've talked to so many people, they're like, I had no idea this was going on for the last 20 years of my life. I could have been chatting with people.
Right.
You said you came on like 3 years ago, and I remember this, and you tell me if this was one of your first images. This is one of my favorites. I remember seeing this image Like, was this early on? This one stays in my head. I don't know why, but yeah.
I know why. Because the first Perrin image was not nearly as good as this one. there's probably been at least 4 to 7 different versions of this Perrin picture.
Gotcha.
And I would very much like to think this is the best one so far, and that this will soon be the worst one, and there will probably be a number of iterations afterwards. But yeah, I can't leave stuff alone.
Yeah, I do remember you kind of. I remember you playing with the image, and I remember you actually putting the first one out there, and people were giving you feedback of things that they kind of liked about it, or like, oh, you should try this, and you did keep on iterating. I hadn't actually seen some of this one. I do remember because, and correct me if I'm wrong, this one came out I think the following summer. Because Barney Harris was very interactive, and we were all having fun with. Oh yeah. We were all having fun with doing these almost like Wheel of Time movie poster, kind of things where we'd put him in. But
not that one, not this one.
Was it not this one? I thought there was one maybe I thought this one included him. Was this one early on, or was this just recent?
That one's kind of early on too. The Perrin picture is the most recent Perrin picture.
Okay.
That I've done.
This is when did this Barney Harris one come out?
Barney Harris, that one came out. That actually is after what a Holiday, I think.
Okay.
Chris, Village Mattress, was the biggest donator, and I had promised to make a custom painting for the person who donated the most, and he definitely earned it. He was, as always, very generous, and this painting continues like a third on the left and a third on the right. I spent so many hours. I think I spent like 65 hours on this painting. And I was just like, I set the bar incredibly too high. What have I done? Like this, I can't. It
was like never ending. Yeah, no, I think I have seen the larger one. I didn't include that one here, but maybe if I grab it, I'll show that it's a really cool. And it's extremely wide, like the actual image itself. Yeah. I love this, Beth. Thank you very much. I resonate with Chad. I remember Tarvalon.net and Theoryland from back in the day, but I had no idea it was still thriving. Better late than never. That's right. See, I think that's the opinion, right? And this, it kind of, you can see this. Yeah, right. You can see this in the poll. So over 100 of you voted on this poll here just a couple minutes ago. When did you find Wheel of Time fandom online? The most of you said 2016 until now, which, right, if you think about it, the books were done.
Yep.
And that was years after the books being done. In fact, I bet you if I had made this to like 2018 until now, that number probably wouldn't go down. Yeah. And then the other majority of those fans in that kind of in the 90s, even if you said the 90s and went up to 2005, that would be the other half of this. So basically 45% are, or 40% are finding it like before 2005, and 40 of you have found it basically, since 2016, which doesn't surprise me and is actually a really cool thing that's happened, which is what Beth just said, kind of a new thriving fandom talking about the books and the TV series, which, and people finding your art. I mean, what's that experience been like, Rob? I mean, if you, for those of you that don't know Rob with Weekly Wheel News, just go look him up, and I'll make sure their links are in the description of this video after this. But for people that have never heard of Weekly Wheel News, what is it, and what's the best place to kind of find the art that you're working on these days?
So the best place to see it and to see all the issues is thegreatblight.com. And so that's kind of the central hub these days for Wheel of Time news and content creators, where we throw a bunch of stuff on there. And that way you don't have to go looking for, separate websites or, try to scour the Twitter, feed, which is just probably insane. But it's been great. Like ever since, like you were saying, like 2018, right? When they announced the show, that's kind of when a lot of us started getting busy again, right? Like after the dark times, and Dusty Wheel started, all the podcasts started starting up, that's when I first did the Weekly Wheel News just kind of like as a joke, as a meme, as a graphic to just like, I just kind of had the idea based on a podcast that was going around. They had like headline tabloid kind of things at the very end that they would mention. And I was like, that'd be kind of a cool, because I always told my mom growing up, I wanted to be the designer for the Weekly World News tabloid with the Bat Boy and stuff back in the day, right? And
here's
there's
good
career goals right there.
A good example of Watt series confirms Jay joining season 2 Wattcast.
Yeah, well, it's crazy. Yeah. That one was crazy because like every time they show a picture of Jay Duffy, like the guy, right, the real guy, I'm looking at it, I'm like, that totally looks like Jay and Silent Bob if you just like change his hair. So yeah, basically it's a mock tabloid. Art project basically that kind of like took on a life of its own after 1 or 2 issues getting circulated, then everybody was asking for it.
Well, it wasn't just that; it was you also won that like Andrew just said, Watt News, Weekly Wheel News is the onion of the Wheel of Time. That's right. True. So
layered onion.
But you actually, I think Rafe and his writing team were doing a competition for. They were going to put something that fans made up on the wall, basically, in their writing room, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And you ended up winning that, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like for the longest time after that announcement, I was like, I don't have anything cool to put in there because I was like people were talking about like making the Mr. Sluhan's, cast iron skillet and like, sending in these weapons and like, to all these really elaborate entries and stuff. And they kept all those things, right? Like, not just the winners, they use those to decorate and inspire the writers for writing the series. And so it was a really cool idea to decorate the writer's room. And I think I sent my submission in. I was just like, hey, what if I just did a bunch of prints of these? That'd be kind of fun, And I sent it out like the last day before you had to get the shipping deadline in, right? Like, and then like, you don't hear anything for a couple months. And then January 2019, like I get a message that's saying like, hey, you won. And I'm like, nuh-uh. Because the way they tweeted it out, like they tweeted like the 3rd place. And that was, those ones were Kitsunagari. She did like these amazing like old school Final Fantasy 16-bit looking characters of Rand and Matt.
Oh yeah, those were actually very, very cool.
Yeah, like bead art, right? Like it was like physically made. And I still think she should have won 1st place for those because those were just amazing. And I saw that and I was like, so that one won. Like there's no way. And then the second place one, I can't remember what it was, but I think it was like a weapon or something like that.
I feel like Rafe actually tweeted about this, but I think it might have been. I think you're right. It might have been a weapon of some sort.
Yeah, you'd have to search his Twitter all the way back to 2019 in January, but it was.
He doesn't tweet that much, does he?
Oh, that's true. It wouldn't take you that long to scroll down there. But yeah. So and then like then the tweet came out that said that like I won the thing, and I was like, and then the coolest thing was like so. Couple years ago at JordanCon, that was the smaller scale COVID one. I think it was 2021. And
by the way, I'm in the process of I'm gonna find this.
Yeah,
go ahead. What was the story?
So we were sitting in the Looney Theories panel, right?
Okay.
And I was sitting next to Sarah Nakamura, and after that, I was talking to her, and I gave her one of the framed.
I think here's an image of this is an image of your winning. They just put it on their wall, basically.
Yeah, they had them framed, and they had
them framed and they put them on. That's the writing room wall.
And I guess they're still there, even though they've moved the writer's room, because Sarah was telling me, she's like, hey, did you know that every time you post one of those, they print it out and put it on their whiteboard?
By the way, this is
I'm like, no way.
I'll be honest. Look, I think you're really creative, Rob, but you're right. You're right. Like those
are freaking brilliant.
That's
old school right there. Oh yeah. See, Chad won some of the charity auction prints that I did that year at JordanCon.
That's that's did you? Oh, that is some oh man, I love those characters. That's freaking great. I'm gonna end this poll. About 150 of you, by the way, voted on this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chad. It wasn't up because I was showing the other thing. Were you showing something else there?
No, I was just showing.
Oh yeah.
Rob's.
Oh, by the way, I should
won from the Terry auction.
I should mention this. For some of you might be new to the Wheel of Time, potentially watching this, or you've only seen season 1. We're not going to purposely. But I'll put this warning up. Nice mug, by the way, there. We're not going to purposely spoil the end of the books for you, but like seeing some art here or talking about some of the art, we may reference things that happen in the books. Showing some of these Wheel of Time onion articles, if you will, might spoil some things. But we're not going to jump into much more than just talking about some of the images we have. So you should be pretty safe. We'll try to be good. My guess will try to be good about if there's going to be a major spoiler after the first book or two to bring it up and give you a chance to walk away. But we're warning you now. There's a little bit there could be some spoilers here. I wanted to jump in here and Chad, this one by the way is one of my favorites. When did you create this one?
Look.
Yeah, similar to Perrin. I started this one fairly early, and I've worked on it a number of times. Same with, I don't know if you're going to show the Tom Maryland one, but it's the same kind of thing. Like, I thought it was like a home run, Grand Slam home run, and then the next year I'm like, this is trash. What am I doing? What am I putting out here?
I love this one. Oh man, this might be my favorite piece. That you've done like that.
I appreciate that.
That is a beautiful rendition of land there. Yeah.
The probably the most difficult parts are adding especially with land, the very subtle expressions, because he's supposed to have none basically. So I have two. I have one for this one and another one. They're very similar, and this one is like to me, this is like him looking at Nynaeve, and then he has another one that's it's definitely more cold and angry, but it's also very slight. It's a very slight change, because I've always pictured him as keeping everything way too internalized, and I do it going to the show. I actually enjoy the fact that they realize they can't really make a character like that that's going to be lasting hopefully 8+ seasons.
Yeah,
it's just hard as a rock, and there's no expression. He's just a badass, and that's all he is. And that's entertaining for a couple shows, but it's going to get really old. You need character development and growth, and plus it's just not it's not a healthy way to be. So
I mean,
Andrew in chat, Andrew Berenson was asking, has the cast seen the pictures that you've created?
Yeah, good question.
I don't know. I know that some have, because I've talked to some of them, but I've only talked to 3 of them. So as far as the rest of them, I don't know, or I don't think so. I'm not sure. I hope so. Really cool. I spent a lot of time doing portrait studies on them to give them,
Not to break in your confidences there, but were they just excited to have been part of the art? Were they just want to talk about choices you made with the art itself?
Did their lawyer send you a cease and desist?
Yeah, was there a cease and desist related to this?
All 3. I tried to keep that hush, but I was trying to humble brag, but now it's just there's lawsuits, and no. It's, I talked to Guy Roberts. He's one of those that are very very busy and open on social medias. He's very supportive and stuff, and he really likes his Uno piece that I did.
I didn't see the Uno one. I mean, is it one that's out there in the public, or is it? So
yeah, it's out there.
Do you want to if you want to send that one to me on Twitter? I didn't see it in the grouping. Maybe I just missed it, probably in what you had given me access to before. But I can always post it if you want to throw me like a DM on Twitter.
For sure. Just recently, I to help Brian's GoFundMe, I used the Ty Grain one that I think I had only posted a really, really rough whip of that one. and I talked to her a little bit. It's been a little while, but she was also really gracious with her time. She was really excited about, somebody doing artwork for her or of her. And then Thomas Chang, I think I posted a really basic whip of a character study. It's more of a cartoony style. I'm trying to mix up my styles as much as possible.
Yeah. And I want to ask you.
But you know what? They almost always start off as cartoons.
Do they really? Is that how it normally
they
is?
always start off as not like Bart Simpson or anything, but they're very like simple. And then I go in with the idea that I want to go simple. I'm putting way too many hours in these things, and then I wind up putting way too many hours in them. I just do it anyway. It's like, okay, well, it is what it is. I have gotten better about saving them though.
I think you should do a Tad Swain one next.
By the way, here, let me, I'm going to throw this one up. I found, thank you, Anas. I shouldn't say I found. Anas just sent me in chat the one that you're talking about with Uno. So let me show you that one, everybody. And then I want to actually speak a little bit about something you just brought up here. And I think this is a good time to take a break. But let me show this tweet that you had. This is great. This is the Guy Roberts one you were talking about, I think. Well, at least this one, yeah. So yeah, that one's awesome. I still have to go with land, but that one is
that was
cool
shortly.
for sure.
That was shortly after the show, right? So that so there's a number of characters that I started working on their portrait studies, like when we, the big table read, when we were micro analyzing everything. I was screen grabbing all of the actors' previous movies or IMDb, photos, and then just practicing their faces so I could feel good about producing something. So I think this one came out fairly shortly after
this one's cool.
The episode.
Yeah, people are like, concept art. This isn't concept art. That's right. We're still talking about this Wheel of Time art. We'll get there. But no, this one's good. Oh man, I still have to give it to Lan here, but oh yeah, this one's really good. So yeah, that's awesome. I love this.
I am. In case he's watching, I have not forgotten. I still am working. I have. I'm building off of this picture. And customizing it for him.
Sweet. By the way,
it'll be different, but
yeah, Cuss Swain, late to the party. I have no idea what's going on, so status quo. If you just got here and you're like, what are we talking about? We're talking about Wheel of Time art, and basically with our wonderful guest fans and artists here, and we're gonna be jumping into some of the concept art. But before we do that, before we kind of jump back to art, I want to bring this up, which is something you just had brought up. And hopefully you saw this over the last 2 weeks. For those of you that know Brian or Rakappa from Wheel Talk, you fans have been amazing here. You can still donate to this GoFundMe. Brian was injured and is still in recovery, and all of the proceeds are going to him to help him and his family and help him recover. And you can follow actually. I think it's Brian's husband, Patrick. The updates that you can see, we're getting these daily updates about Brian's situation, how he's doing, and I want to say that I think his family really appreciates all of the care the fans have given to this, and like I said, you can go and still actually go. Give to that GoFundMe. So I'll put that link in the description of this video too. You can go find Tarvalon After Dark on Twitter if you're looking for that. You can just ask around. Everyone will drop that link. I'm sure some of our mods can drop the link into live chat here for the GoFundMe if you want to donate to it. But yes, almost 40,000 at this point. So amazing. And you, like I said, you can also follow his recovery so far. So yeah, I know how much that's appreciated, and just how much his family has said it's appreciated. So, and then why don't we jump into this, everybody? I know we're kind of like that's going from that sad news, but actually very hopeful news to talking back about the kind of some of this concept art. And by the way, this to me is Rob, your art from back in the day was to me a lot of the kind of concept art in my head of the Wheel of Time. So they didn't end up using your concept art for the show, but this
Bloody
was
dark friends.
this will always be what I remember as, and we won't tell you what this is, everybody, if you're new to this, but here's a little bit of a spoiler if you've never heard of this word before. So if you want to step away for just about 20 seconds, I'll give you a chance. But yeah, this will always be the Bowl of the Winds to me.
That one's so bad.
It's so, but it's so
show
good.
that one?
Look, you don't understand. It's so bad, but it's so good. Like in the late '90s, there wasn't anything, and so like seeing something like that is so. Dude, I don't know what you're talking about. That is so good.
Well, no, it's funny is like because on one of my recent rereads, then like somebody had asked me about my stuff, so I had to go and find it, and I had to go. Like, because I don't know, it's probably on a million different CDs and hard drives around here, but like you try to search for stuff and you've been working on this, art and stuff for 20-something years, it's like your portfolio is freaking huge. And so try to find that stuff. And I was just rereading, I think, Crown of Swords, where they find it. And then I'm looking at the picture, I'm like, Twisted Doorway's not even there. It's like not even the same city, not even the same area of the continent. Like,
you can't.
I don't know.
Don't judge yourself like that, man.
Yeah, whatever.
So this is one of the ones you brought up. This one's actually from the TV show itself by Constantine Sekeris, I think is how you pronounce his name. And Constantine wrote about the Mirrodral. Said, sharing today some concept art I did specifically for director Uta Brisowicz when she was up for Wheel of Time. Good friend Steve Messing was kind enough to put me up for this project. At the time, I was busy with a day job and had to do this after hours and weekends. The turnaround time was tight, and Uta needed concepts for her pitch to be chosen to direct the first few episodes. So, oh wow! And she was in competition. Yeah, she was in competition with 5 other candidates. There's a big fan base for these books. I needed to do a lot of loose sketches at first for myself to explore design. So you're probably all like wondering, like, show the art already. I wanted to read that. So yeah, this was one of the pieces of art, one that I think he used to, and now you can kind of see some of this obviously in what the final, Uta did become the director, and that is one of those pieces. And then here's one that's, straight on shot. What did you think about the Mirrodral? What did you think about the Mirrodral when you guys saw the Mirrodral in the show?
In the show, I was like, oh, it's kind of like a lamprey kind of looking eel looking. And I loved how, and not this concept art, because you can see the eye holes. And if I recall right, they're not supposed to have any eye holes at all. It's supposed to be like a slick, like flat surface. But there was there was an artist who posted some stuff on Instagram a couple years ago. And I really think that they probably got a lot of inspiration from that image, because what they came up with in the show was like very, very similar. Not so much the different layers of teeth, which when I saw that in the trailer, I think it was, when we first saw it, I was like, oh, that's awesome. But these concepts that you're just showing, like, it'll be interesting if we see them, like, with the hoods down, will they have hair? Will they just be totally bald, maggot looking? It's described many different ways in the books. So,
well, let me show you. Yeah, I mean, I can show what you can kind of see this now. Here's a kind of up close shot. It's one of the pieces that they put on there. Now that you've seen the shot that the artist has put together. Is it right here? Let me see. Yeah, there you go.
We haven't heard him talk yet, though. I don't know how you talk with so many teeth, but we'll see what happens in season 2. That one, I might be just crazy, but like every time I see that one there,
So I want to ask everybody here while we're, I haven't polled people nearly enough. Which do you prefer, the concept or the actual show mirror? I'm going to try to spell Mirrodral, and if I got it wrong, too bad. and we'll say the show, we'll say the concept or the show. Chad, what do you think about these two that you saw, what we actually got, and then maybe some of these concepts?
Well, similar to like the, Matt and his recasting, I'm kind of frustrated because I have to keep redoing things that I thought I was done with. I mean, not to be like too diplomatic, I like both. I like both of them, but yeah, no, like headcanon wise, the concept art, the non-lamprey one. Yeah, there you go. That one.
That one, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely more how I pictured it. That's how I had sketched it and drew mine. And I even had kind of like I had kind of like a shark mouth a little bit too with mine, not like unhinged like this, but definitely sharp with like
what did we lose?
Kind of like a saw double layer.
We lost Rob
teeth,
here for a moment.
But yeah, I would say this concept art is very, very close to how I envisioned it, and that's how I did mine too.
Yeah.
But then I did just recently paid the shows had, so I cheated totally. I totally cheated. I'm not repaying the whole thing. I basically kept the same pose. I added different textures and different colors, and then just painted right over the original painting of the face to do the show wardrobe one. Yeah,
by the way, again, if you want to go check this artist out that did this one, for anyone, and it looks like we lost Rob for a moment, Constantine Sekeris. We'll put the link to this ArtStation account, so you can go check these out. You can kind of see some of this, some of the initial designing that he went through here.
Yeah, I like seeing those because I had some of those. I had probably 5 or 6 different variants. I still have my sketchbook somewhere, but I was coming up with all kinds of different variations on how they would look. None of them were nearly so alien, though. They were variations of the book style.
But about 100 of you have voted on this, and Show's winning this poll. 56% of you prefer the show version. It's definitely, I would say this about the show version, because I do like the concept one is kind of closer to what's in my head. The show version here is definitely uniquely the show version. It feels like that's what they've done sometimes, is they've pushed away from maybe some imagery that fans have already drawn of things. I mean, the thing that comes to mind most is like the Aes Sedai ring. Like that's the one they have in the show, very unique to the show, right? Like the one that, the official one and other ones that fans have drawn and so I don't know if it was like a desire to like have something completely unique and other versus kind of copying, and not copying it, but doing something expected. I don't know. That's how I kind of feel about the mirror draw, if you will.
I think we could do a whole other show on this, and maybe you already have, but the differences, I'm sure the differences between books and show, it's clearly not bad writing. It's clearly people have no idea of the books. They're clearly designing the story to be the story, but also for all of us hardcore freak fans that I believe you termed, right? To also give us a first read experience by watching the show. We understand it. It's the book, it's the story, but it's also new at the same time. That's probably actually not bad writing. It's probably the opposite of bad writing, to be able to stick, true to the characters, and you only veer to help explain the characters, depth and the story's depth. And I also like how it seems that they're filling in the blanks, the stuff that we're off page we're getting. And I mean, they're clearly creating an experience. They're putting a lot of energy in that they don't have to do on book readers, because really the money is going to be in all the new viewership, right? Like,
well, they're definitely establishing a look to everything that is going to be uniquely the show, if that makes sense, right? Like, even the Origins, the Origins series, you know, that is more kind of canon specific. It wouldn't surprise me to see things in the Origin series that don't necessarily follow the exact kind of design and look and feel of the show itself. I want to post this comment from Jessica. Thank you very much. Can't stay long, but love all the talented squee on the stream. Catch you all on playback. Thank you, Jessica. Appreciate the support. And it doesn't look like we've gotten Rob back here yet, so let's keep going. This is another design by one of the concepts by Constantine that was part of that pitch that they were making. So I want to show you this. The Trolloc. Yes, here is Constantine's creature design. One of the concepts, my guess is this went along with what they were posing out there for actual pitching for the look of what Trollocs would look like. And then here, of course, is, you know, some of the or a look of one of the Trollocs from the show. Okay, so let's jump back and forth between these guys here. What are your thoughts, Chad? Do you like? Did you like what came out in the show itself, or do you like what they were going with the concept?
I think the concept art. I think that Trolloc actually exists really close to the concept art. It's not the angry owl looking Trolloc there, but
right, there's a version of that one. Yeah.
I think I remember seeing that Trolloc specifically. I think his name's Fred. I don't remember. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like upset anybody with the wrong name, but and also too, I would say about the concept art, and this is not a knock on the concept artist whatsoever. It's a matter of process, but a lot of this I think takes place on 3D modeling.
Yeah,
and then they paint over the 3D models, and they probably had some models to go off of, like, you know, they probably had some prosthetics that they used.
Yeah, you can kind of see if you go again. We'll put Constantine's link here. You know, I love seeing some of these, like this 3D version of it. You can see some of the how they were kind of designing some of these aspects of the Trolloc, and then you can kind of see some of the different looks to those faces that, you know,
variants,
you see some variants here. Yeah,
what I enjoy, if you slide back down towards the middle, where there's the blue shading and red outline. Yeah, there we go. This is a really good mark of a professional right here. He's helping other people do their jobs as well. Like, as far as modeling, you know, like he's helping the sculptors, like the people who are making the armor and everything.
Gotcha.
Like, that's a really good sign. That's a really good sign of a concept artist. They're helping everyone else do their jobs also.
Yeah.
So you can tell he knows his stuff.
And yeah, he talks about this process again. Really cool to see about. You know, again, go and check this out. You can read, you know, on the side over here talking about what he did and why he was sharing this. And I have a lot of sketches. I'm just showing half of what I explored. I tried hybrids of mixing animals. I also tried some eyes less similar to the Fade, etc. You can also see how I break down the actor in the practical suit. And my notes to myself to keep in mind as I progress forward. Once Uta was awarded the show, I was put in contact to work with Nick Dudman, who does brilliant practical makeup FX work, and he brought on some very talented artists like Howard Swindle to do Trolloc designs as well. Putting all this together also shows my process from start to finish. Yeah, nice job, Constantine, on this stuff. It's fun to see. Again, you're an artist. I feel like I'm somewhat jealous because anytime I go, I want to draw something, I can't do it. It doesn't work for me. It's not good. Like, I can draw like maybe like a pine tree. A pine tree. I have a pretty good pine tree, I think.
Pretty solid tree.
That's about it. That's it. That's all my. That's all my.
Start.
That's a good start. Yeah, thank you for being. That's very kind of you.
I would start with the Christmas scene.
Let's ask everybody here. It looks like, by the way, Rob, he had his power went out. So, about little bubble of evil moment. Which Trolloc design do you prefer? The concept art or the show Trolloc? And I agree, they're closer, I think, in this one. And so, this, I'll give you a both since they're pretty close here. Equally prefer them both. Prefer both. I'm like sitting here like, I hate the amount of time my brain spends on like in polls. That's
I anticipate them because the show creators, they know the books, and you know how the Trollocs lose power levels quickly. As characters, power up, everything else, becomes little army men knockover. I foresee them, you know what I mean? That the Trollocs are going to get like darker and nastier in the next couple of seasons. I bet. I don't think they're not gonna fade them out. I mean, they will have to. I mean, they will be, fighting multiple fades, and they'll be introducing bigger bads. But I think that the showrunners they're cognizant of the of this is it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And I think they didn't do nothing with Perrin, like the first season. They didn't, but like
seriously,
you can only tell so many stories.
Seriously. I know. I'm just saying, you have season 2, season 2 to bring us back.
Yeah, and they will. I think I could see Perrin's story is going to be really compelling and cool.
So far, it does look. I mean, at least what behind the scenes footage that they've put out there, that there's going to be obviously a focus on Perrin's story. I mean, I feel like behind the scenes was. There was like, okay, everyone's criticizing us about Perrin. Let's give you a lot of shots of Perrin, so he's in the show.
Like, everyone relax. There's gonna be a bunch of fighting next season.
Exactly. I would agree with this. Miss Sarah James said, for the poll, the show practical Trollocs, not so much the CGI. The practical effects augmented by CGI were amazing. Full CGI, not so much. I'm gonna agree and disagree. What I mean by that is, I think episode 1 Trollocs, and maybe that's what Miss Sarah James was saying. What we got in episode 1 is, so I guess I'm agreeing with that. We got that, to me, was, I love the Trollocs in episode 1. I think Trollocs, from an effect standpoint, were amazing in that episode. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think channeling in episode 1, and channeling having to do with Moraine and Lan and the Trollocs, that all really, really worked really, really well. So I kind of wish we had gotten episode 1 Trollocs in episode 8, but... that does not.
I think it was a COVID. I think there were COVID reasons why they couldn't mash a bunch of people together like they did in the first handful of episodes. But yeah, I agree. It was unfortunate, right? It was unfortunate that they couldn't do it the same way.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I think it was unfortunate, because I thought in episode 1 it was done so well. I'm going to end this poll. About 80 of you voted on this poll. Prefer both and show got 40+% of this poll, which doesn't surprise me. Okay, I want to go into some of the images from the concept art. Now, if you've never seen these before, I can't show the X-ray content directly on the screen because, Amazon's, their developers have gotten good enough at least that I haven't been able to break past that to actually show you screenshots. It'd be much easier if I could just page through them and show them. That's okay that I can't. They do have links to them. So what I thought we'd do is check out some of these and talk about how, some of these images. Now, see, I see an image like this, and I think to myself, like, was this after they took the, like, that's a pretty exact shot and of like what we ended up with in the show. And I'll go find that image. I think we have. I don't have the exact image of Rand there.
Rand and Matt.
So now you have Rand and his father here.
Yeah.
Like even the size of the bell and the tree, like it feels like, were they just literally just standing there, doing that exact image. The bell's like dead on. Although I guess Tam, I can't remember I don't think he has a staff in his hand at that time. So either it was just an amazingly well done rendition of this. I think this is a beautiful shot. So you know,
I would assume that I would assume that they had I would assume that the artist had some information to go off, or there could be the actual props. A lot of the props were there, and or photos of props, and then they included those. Me personally, if I was blessed enough to work for the show, you would be you. Is he okay?
Can you hear us, Rob? Are you in?
Oh, okay. I would say if I was working with them, I would have a ridiculous amount of of accuracies. Like I would try to make everything as perfect as possible. That's apparently what I do too. So yeah, people would be like, "What did you do? Just like draw over the picture?" No, I'm just trying to recreate it for no good reason other than that's just what I do.
And I mean, here is a shot that is not directly in the show. One of the nice shots that I love that view.
Yeah, that's a cool concept art right there.
Yeah, that's a huge tree. Mm-hmm. That is, and I swear there's, I think in the books, I can't remember the exact. I think they go under. They kind of like hide in kind of an overgrown, almost like a. It's like a large. I thought it was a more like large bush, if you will. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe it was kind of roots pieced together, or interwoven.
I envisioned one of your favorite drawing trees, a giant pine, because underneath them, if you have ever been underneath a very large pine, it's like it's a tent. It's actually pretty.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
I always envisioned that.
So, I mean, this is definitely not, there's no, as far as I recall, they didn't run into this huge tree stump, but I do love this particular shot on their way out, if you will. So, but yeah, beautiful piece of concept art that didn't, necessarily translate through into the show itself. Although this one did, and this, I can absolutely see this as something they used for inspiration as they were, trying to grasp what that was going to look like. So yeah, this was.
You can almost see Perrin's terrible face coming out, smoke around, and.
Yeah, this is.
Like right after the attack.
I love the dead Trolloc right here. Hold on. Yeah, the Trolloc on the ground. And you were saying Perrin, was he off to the right there?
No, I'm envisioning.
Oh, Perrin seeing this. Yeah.
No, them coming out like basically immediately after.
I thought you saw Perrin in like a background shot of this.
No. Sorry about that. No, I meant like on the show when.
Yeah, when he's walking
the initial
out.
battle, and he's dealing with the way he's dealing with, and
some more Trollocs.
This whole image captures that whole mood really well.
Yeah, no, it does. This is one of. It does feel very kind of inspirational for what look they, and I thought they achieved that look that you see in the shop really well. Mm-hmm. That is again, I think episode 1, not the beginning, the first half episode 1. I'm not a huge fan of, but it's that second half with the battle and the actual town itself, taking us there to that battle, and some of this art kind of showing what they were after. I think they accomplished that really well. This was a shot out of that first. This is the bonus content for episode 1. I'm hoping maybe you all can tell me what. I don't remember a scene like this. This looks like it's in, one of the buildings in town, and I'm guessing that's supposed to be. I mean, Tam right there.
Can we get a zoom on that? Enhance.
Zoom enhance.
I mean, there is that, I don't know, maybe I can't imagine that this is actually their house. I get a feeling like this is almost the window that Moraine is looking out of.
Yeah, well, it's not that circular one, but it does look like it's in the wine spring because it has that arch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the arch right there.
Maybe that was. So the deleted scene that we saw at WotCon that hasn't been released. Like maybe it was originally concepted to be like in the inn.
Yeah.
Maybe Egwene bringing him the breakfast.
Oh yeah, did you? That's exactly what Anas just said. I think you guys are probably. I'm going to go with you're right.
I remember that too.
Egwene bringing food to Tam, but inside instead of outside. So yeah, good call on both of you. That's probably exactly what this is showing. Is them in the inn, and that's supposed to be Egwene. It's a beautiful shot of the inn itself, and what's crazy about the shot is just how much detail goes into these arches. Right here, let me show you.
Oh yeah,
like that's
stuff you'd never even see.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that there's like a little piece of the wood that's been chipped out in this. Like that's insane. Like, but beautiful.
And
yeah, go ahead.
While I was fighting that bubble of evil, I don't know if you guys talked about it because I saw in and out where you're talking about the hiding in the tree, that shot, right? But even though that didn't make it into the production, the fact that that concept art was requested kind of lets you know that, counter to like what a lot of people say, they aren't throwing the books all out, and they really have a lot of these scenes envisioned, and maybe budgetary issues, were restrictive. Maybe the location scout just never found a big enough tree that would look like that,
I'm kind of glad that would have like taken me out of it a little bit, at least in that while they were riding away, I guess, from the two rivers. That would have.
Well, I mean, you do have to give props to Lan that it was a better hiding spot than Aragorn and Weathertop in Lord of the Rings.
I want to point this out though. That chest here, it seems like the artist is making kind of a big deal about it. That's very decorative. Do you wonder if they conceived at some point of not having Tam and Rand leave to go back home, but that this was an idea that they were staying in town, and so that's where he had his sword. Anyway, that's what hit me with that scene. Is like, okay, maybe this is the inn itself, and so maybe this was an early concept that they were going to stay in town, but they decided not to do that, which I'm glad they didn't.
Okay, I could see that being they're staying there logistic wise, but he wouldn't have brought the sword, considering that he hadn't used it for 20 years or whatever,
Yeah, they would have had to have done a lot of.
Unless he knew something was up, and Tam was tipped off, and Winter Night was an inside job.
Once Matt released that wacky Theoryland idea just then, the idea popped into my head that maybe they were envisioning Rand's farm being hit first, them coming to town,
coming back. Okay,
that's where the chest is there. That's why they're there, and then they're preparing for potentially maybe another attack, or not expecting the attack. But
yeah, and Robert just said in chat that this is Tam after getting healed from the sword wound. He does seem to like is maybe holding an arm, his right arm a little bit, perhaps. Maybe that could be. Here's another one. This one definitely seems like it was their plan to have this attack happen. This was certainly, and it doesn't surprise me that this was early art, because this was an early rumor, right? That about Layla dying. I swear that was in 2019 that we had that rumor. So this was certainly part of, and looks like they had kind of conceived what this was going to look like. And there's Layla holding a hammer, and Perrin holding an axe, which
I love that.
A nice little touch, and two left-handed Trollocs right there. I was like, not that they care. They're gonna kill with either hand, I guess. But yeah, no, this is an interesting shot here.
Yeah, what do you guys think about that Trolloc coming through the doorway?
This one right here.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that, doesn't
like
not
a boar Trolloc?
Of those terrible helmets on the original cover art.
It does have that
stuff.
I was gonna say it definitely kind of had like a bow-legged effect. That's what I thought when I saw it. It's like,
but the head looks just like, if you were to chrome it all out, it looks like those really weird Trolloc helmets.
Oh, there's a bird.
Yeah, they did give us the bird. No, it does.
I love seeing the bird Trollocs in there.
The bird. Yeah, this is I love the detail in this shot. This concept art they had. That's really, really cool. Okay, let's see. What are some other of my favorites here that were pulled out? I think, let's see. Nope, that one's the same one. Rob, I'm glad you did decide to come back and join us. I know the...
I had to fight off a lot of reflections, but I'm feeling kind of drained, you guys.
So there's this one, and this... We definitely get this shot, but they framed it a little bit differently in episode 1 here. 1 second, everybody. Mm-hmm. But it looks identical, so it's almost like you said, Chad. Like I feel like that they must have seen a picture early on of that bridge, because I swear that that location picture has to have been given to them, because that's like, I mean, it looks identical. From what I recall, that's kind of what that shot, that piece was going to look like. Yeah,
there's a shot that's even at that angle almost exactly too.
Yeah, so they must have got some like you said, some scouting shots, if you will, of that one. And there's this one too. And this was the inside of the inn, and I think that they, again, I can't tell if this feels like they knew exactly. Either they conceived of this and then they built what it looked like in this concept art, but they definitely went for that large fireplace look. And the reason why I'm like, wow, that's a pretty exact... look at the window. I swear that is the design on the windows. I have to go back and look, but...
the pillars supporting the building have these really weird... So when they said that the wine spring had burnt down before, like I was wondering if maybe just the pillars survived, because like if you look at the far left one on the other side right there, one more, I noticed that in the shots they're dark and it's hard to pick out, but they have weird like symbols or shapes on them that do not match the architecture or style of anything else, and it kind of, I thought it was really cool. Like I was like, holy cow, like is that supposed to be like the older architecture that survived? Yeah,
that's a good question, because you don't, the other posts look, the other posts are kind of, the artist made them, they look pretty smooth. There's this one over here that's different. Now I have to go back.
Show photo, you'll see it.
Yeah, I have to go back and look at the show photo. Was there this much decoration on the beams? Like you saw this before in the previous one with what looked like Tam and Egwene, and I don't remember. From the show, I just don't remember this much decoration in the beams themselves.
I don't know if you ever saw the above ones that clearly. Maybe in the shot of Egwene and Rand after they, got it on in Dad's common room.
But
I do remember the columns were really elaborate.
What's interesting about that, not the second thing you said, but the columns themselves. Those are really elaborate shots. I would love, I think people have brought this up, a book of the concept art. Would be very, very cool. I'm not sure why they haven't done those. Some of these shots are just really, really well done. You'd think it... anyways, yeah.
I bet they will.
I'm assuming everybody here would, but would you buy a book of Wheel of Time TV show concept art? How about that? I haven't asked many poll questions. Oh, kitty. Nice. Then there was this one from episode 1. I like what they came up with more so than this, but I'll show you here. Although there is something I like about this, which is it's more of kind of in a pasture-like view behind him there. But I do, what they came up with this sheep slaughter. This is a little bit less. I mean, this is more subtle than what the show actually gave us.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was cool to see a lot of those kind of things in the show, but I think that they're top down, like, obviously, here's the Dragon's Fang again, like that shape.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that one, right.
That one, yeah.
That one, and the blood after Nynaeve kills the Trolloc in the pool, and all those, the thing I like about this concept art here with the sheep is it's a different angle. It's a lot more interesting of an angle, and I would have loved to seen these things a lot more subtle at these kind of different angles that maybe it's not as obvious unless you know what to look for.
Yeah
I think the straight on shots in this show kind of beat you over the head eventually.
I mean, you think that, and I think that because we're book fans. Maybe the people that saw it were just
I was like, ooh. But
Yeah.
you know, I wonder if anyone. I mean, of course, maybe just fans used to mystery and these type of shows were like, I bet you that means something, but you know, there's nothing to be made of it until they learn something else. Would you buy a book of Wheel of Time TV show concept art? Looks like 80% of you so far would. Most of this concept art here has just been, if not, I mean, I've liked each one of these pieces. But yeah, I'm kind of curious what do you think about this one? I'm jumping ahead, way ahead of where we were. This is in episode 7, everyone. This one came up and we all were like, wait a second, this didn't happen. This is in episode 7 in the bar that Min owns, it looks like, or at least was working at. There's Matrim Cawthon. So Matt was, according to whoever was creating the concept art, supposed to be in Fal Dara with everyone. That we know that changed later on. So, but we can tell that whoever made the concept art was under that belief until.
That looks more like Green Springs to me.
No, this one comes from episode 7.
Right.
So
but I mean, like just the architecture of the bar and the thing up above, you know.
Gotcha.
It reminded me of Burn Springs too, except for the stained glass window is what.
Yeah, the rest of the setting, you know, looks like.
I was thinking the Four Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Also, but
yeah. So Matt was going to be there, and it's one of those like we don't get that we don't get that world, right? The version of the world that we got was the one where Matt did not make it to Fal Dara, and it's a bummer to find out. It would be nice to have found out how that would have ended with Matt there. Certainly things would have changed. I'm going to end this poll here, and I saw a comment from Wild Gardenia said, there is art on the ceiling beams in the inn, episode 1, 12 minutes and 54 seconds in. So there you go. So if you and I love go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I noticed too in this bar scene, I don't believe those lantern styles. They
kept those. Yeah.
No, they kept the kind of wagon wheel style wide lanterns that they used at the wine spring a number of times.
They're better to drop on a Trolloc in case of attack.
Well, yeah, there's probably a number of reasons for that too, but
you can swing on them in a bar fight. They're just.
I mean, they do look like fun.
Now this one, I have to say, from episode 7, feels like like they had to have known. This feels like it's drawn after the fact, right? Like you'd had to have had location shots to have drawn this. I have a hard time believing like the guy drew this and then they built the whole thing up. Like here it is. Yeah. I just don't. Although like the one that we had previous to this was not what that bar looked like very much. Like the bar looked different than what we just saw. So
yeah, I think it's a combination of both. Because I think that I think they do lean heavily on concept artists for creative, changes. And also lighting and different things. I think that's actually the job of a.
That's what they're for. Yeah.
Help, is to help convey the mood, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
If they did, and maybe that was like I said, maybe they knew the location, so they knew this.
I think they probably
had a location shot, and then they set this up, and that would be pretty impressive. I would love to know. I would, and maybe that'll be our next goal here at the Dusty Wheel. We'll reach out to those concept artists and find out like how much of this, is given to them beforehand, and how much of is the show kind of tracking what they. Because I love the shot. Like this is it's a beautiful shot.
But it does look like it was just like they just drew
like this is
something off of a photo, right?
I mean, it's so like. And so if they didn't, whoever the concept artist here, if they took these ideas from, your general kind of knowledge of the place and you set this up, like, well done. Because this is...
Well, it's kind of like... You remember when we saw the original... the before the show came out and they shared the concept art, remember that? a few of the shots, and we saw the shot of Shadar Logoth, and then Matt, you compared it with Chicago, and you're like, I know where that is, right?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of that same level of detail, you know.
That's true.
They knew it is
okay.
gonna look like. And,
now I got to go find that. Now I'm like, oh man, I haven't actually stared at that shot in a while, but that was a really cool connection here. So I'm gonna go look it up here.
It was in one of the ones that I sent you, one of the collections of these guys.
Yeah, the Shadar Logoth. I need to find that screen and show it.
By Filip Štorch.
Now I need to go. Oh yes, that's right. I'll check that last one here. But I want to find this shot of Chicago. I don't think I Instagram that much. I've got to be able to find it here. But yeah, it's
a little different than the concept art that the guy shows on the website, and maybe he did both, or maybe that one was kind of like a previs shot, you know, like a 3D rendering based on the concept art. Because if I remember right, that same shot only had like one writer in it, where the one that Filip posted on ArtStation has 6 people in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and to help strengthen that point too. Did you find the photo?
I did. I just showed the one on. I just shared that one.
To help
go ahead.
Strengthen that point. The book series that Rob mentioned earlier that he loved, that I also loved too when I was younger, Dragonlance.
Mm-hmm.
Weiss and Hickman both are on record saying they basically created the story based off of Elmore's paintings. So wow. Concept artist, an artist, for these jobs, they can very, very heavily influence the product. Like literally those great trilogy, first trilogy, completely based off of paintings that Elmore just made. He got some basic information, and then he just filled in all of the blanks, and there were a bunch of them, and then they created the characters. And go ahead, Rob.
Yeah. Oh, well, I was just watching a documentary on the making of Star Wars, and it's called Icons on Earth. So they talk about in there how they didn't know how this kind of stuff was going to look, and so George Lucas went and hired Ralph McQuarrie to just do a bunch of concept art, right? That stuff was like extremely influential on like what the visuals ended up actually looking like and stuff. You can go back and look at it.
The stormtroopers are. It looks like they were like taken off of a photograph, but actually they created them almost like detail for detail off of those concept art.
Okay, so there we go. Yeah, I'd be curious to know that's exactly what happened here, and how much kind of influence and control they had over what ended up being there. I mean, certainly this is what you're talking about, Filip Štorch. And also, like I said, Constantine Sekeris. These are some of the shots of Shadar Logoth. So, you definitely, this is the shot. Although some of these looks like it's. These are, this stuff is.
It's possible they designed the sets based on the concept art. They loved it so much that they kept.
This is one you don't see, which is outside of the. I don't think you see this shot in the show.
You see it briefly from a different angle when they're like scrambling for the log, and Rand's like, "We can't leave it without him," and Matt says, "I'm pretty sure we can."
Yeah, that's a great shot. Yeah. What an amazing kind of rendition of what he was thinking here.
What's interesting if you look down the one below that. Where it's Egwene and Perrin. Yeah. Except I think that this concept art was done before Marcus was cast, because that guy doesn't look anything like.
He has a. I feel like his head, although Marcus's hair is longer. White guy, dude.
He's probably just a stand-in.
Yeah, for sure.
Somebody that the guy knows, but. I love these. Like this collection here of Shadar Logoth is probably like my favorite of this concept art that I've seen so far.
Yep.
When I was drawing my map, then I based the Shadar Logoth off of this guy's circular concept in there when I drew that in there.
And this one, Yeah. So okay, interesting. Like I said, this is Filip Štorch again, and this is Fal Dara, and said that this is The Wheel of Time is a fantasy TV series, of course. This is a set of concept artwork centered around the city of Fal Dara. Concepts are made in various stages of development over a long stretch of time, designed by talented and experienced art department crew led by production designer Andre, I'm going to say that, Nekvasil, or I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but
you might have to learn how to pronounce it before we get him on the show.
Yeah, so my guess is some of this stuff was done, like you said, like in various stages of development. So,
I would love to be on that show with you, talking to them about, you know, percentage wise, is right, like as far as like how much information do they get to go off of, and how much basically comes from their.
I love that shot right there. That's a beautiful shot. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, and like, nobody kill me for saying this, but you know, if we had to wait another year for a season to come out, but they kept feeding us this kind of stuff, this is the kind of stuff that I totally geek out about. I mean, like, ever since I was like, I don't know, like third grade, you know, going through, you know, McQuarrie's sketchbooks for Return of the Jedi, I have all the drawings of what Jabba the Hutt was going to look like and stuff like that, and it didn't end up looking anything like it. Like, I love this stuff. So even if it doesn't look like what's in the show, but just like getting into the head of how people kind of visualize this and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the kind of thing I was looking for when I started doing my 3D art back in the day. You know, I'm just like, I want to know what other people think these places look like, because he's a very visual writer, and his descriptions like lend themselves like to doing so much of this concept art that I imagine a lot of other authors, if you're adapting a series from their work and they aren't as visually descriptive, it makes it a lot harder.
Right. You're gonna have a lot
Jordan
more.
Did half the work for him already,
Yeah,
you know, like
no kidding.
the detail of the dresses and everything, all the stuff we tease about, you know, like that's what brings this series alive, you know, and seeing it brought alive visually is just amazing to me.
Let's see.
I want to be in the room where it happens, Rafe.
Well,
Right.
Hopefully they'll be doing more of that. Like, that's what I wish they would do. Like you said, more of, is just let the people that are part of production talk about the work they're doing. For fans, at least for me as a fan, that's the part I like the most, is understanding how it was put together, what were the choices, why they were done, because obviously there's just changes that are kind of like, well, those aren't necessarily my favorite changes, but seeing you guys actually put your, you know, creativity to this world and why you actually did things, that's like, for me, even more compelling sometimes than the show, if that makes sense. Just because,
totally.
like, yeah, we kind of know how we don't know everything that's going to turn out, but we know how most of this is going to turn out. Like, none of us were like, who is the Dragon Reborn? Like,
Right.
we weren't like, okay, so maybe there's some fans out there that got a little bit crazy with that idea, and they're like, they're going to change it. But
we can see in the shot of the concept art for Fal Dara, the last one on that page with the wall, like, we could see what the valley would have looked like if it was actually full of enemies rather than like an empty, senseless charge right at the wall.
Sure. Yeah, I know, that's true. Okay, so everybody, somehow just 90 minutes just passed. That was crazy.
Wow,
like that went by really fast. I know for those of you that are stuck around, it's Wednesday and we give away a mug. But Chad, I also know you had a giveaway that you wanted to, you know, if fans were interested in, you know, one second, Taylor, if fans were interested in the work that you do, and wanted a chance to win a piece of art. Do you want to explain kind of what that is, and we can kind of point fans your way?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of twofold, really. For the month of August here, I'm giving 100% of my proceeds for my shop to Brian's GoFundMe, to try and help them out just a little bit more. That shop can be found at thesparetime.com, and the promotion I'm running is in order to help people know where I'm at. If you go to my site, and just all you have to do is subscribe to a newsletter that I have not even created yet. But if you guys subscribe to my site, it won't be super spammy, but you'll get notifications of deals that I'll be running regularly, and I'm also making a loyalty program So that way, basically, the more you buy, the more you'll be able to afford to buy.
Cool.
And 2 people who sign up, one will get, they'll both get canvas prints.
Awesome.
I'll live in by 16, like this size.
Nice.
Oh, there's a lot of glare on there, but canvas print on a wood frame. Those usually run, I think $75 without a frame on them. But yep, I'll give 2 of those away just by selecting people who have signed up on the website.
There you go. I put the link.
I'll
put the link in the actual description after this video, but it's in live chat right now. Just go sign up for a newsletter. I mean, how many times have you signed up for newsletters in the past? But this one is actually for a good cause. Like Chad said, the proceeds, for anything you do purchase from the store will go to Brian. If you don't know who we're talking about, Rakapa Sedai, a fan, a content creator, someone, a beloved just individual who's brought so much laughter and joy to fans for the last couple of years, as Rakapa Sedai. And so please do, again, for a chance potentially to win one of these prints and for an opportunity to see what else Chad's up to, just go to the site there, subscribe to the newsletter, and that's all you got to do. Of course, if you want to share that with other fans, please do that. That would be fantastic. But yeah, two of those fans can do that. I will do that right after this too. So, and I'll make sure that we tweet about that after the show. So, and. So thank you very much. Really appreciate that, Chad. Okay, for those of you that are in chat right now, also if you want a chance to win a Dusty Wheel mug, Taylor's going to throw that into the mix here in chat. And this is one of the there. Oh yeah, you're showing your mugs off. Nice. This is one of those days. Like it's a casual Wednesday. There's no big news. If you ever had a chance to win a mug, today's the day. Because there won't be that many people
right now.
2 mugs? Is that what you're talking about here?
Taylor,
ooh.
See that?
Rob, are you offering a mug? Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, I have a mug. I've never made anything
oh my
with
gosh.
old artwork before.
Okay, I want that mug.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in chat also. Go ahead and put it in.
How do I get in there? Yeah, shoot. Okay, so apparently one Dusty Wheel mug and one of Rob's ancient Age of Legends mugs that he's giving
This
up
might
for
be a
us
Terran
here.
Grill. We're not sure.
That is, oh man, that again, like when I got on the internet and started looking up the Wheel of Time, I think it was in '97. Your art. And some of the artists out there that are, I don't know if I think they're still alive, but they're not necessarily chatting up fandom online. But some of that art I just live in my brain forever. So that is a cool mug, Rob. I'm gonna have to buy one after this.
Yeah, well, they're not up for sale. This is the only one so far. So.
I know. So
Exclusive.
I will give the first person who wins tonight the choice if you want a Dusty Wheel mug or you want Rob's. What do you call that mug? I need a name for that.
That's the Kinslayer.
That's the Death of Kinslayer mug. And then whoever the second person is,
gets the leftovers.
Yeah. Don't enter more. I see this from our mods. Don't enter twice, only once. That's all. It's not going to work for you if you enter 7 times. And then you'll just like upset the mods and then they'll kick you out. And then you'll be like on social media talking about how you got kicked out for entering 700 times. So
it does look impressive. A couple hundred raffles going up now.
Okay, so I think as everyone had a chance to enter once at least. That's all you need to enter.
Yeah, I had
the
a
system
chance.
You had a chance. Good, Chad.
Down.
Chad, that'd be awesome if you and Rob both win tonight. That'd be hilarious. Okay, so I'm still seeing people join in here. Any final thoughts? And we'll close this out from both of you. Concept art and the Wheel of Time, what you saw tonight, just Wheel of Time art in general.
I just want to see more, so give us more. And Amazon, let those people post their stuff. I love
exactly.
it.
Said. Let them post their stuff.
And get us right. Release the concept art book. We'll buy it.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I'm gonna be honest. I have not valued my own concept art. Like until fairly recently, I have never saved my concept art. Like it's just, to me, it's just like bad art. It's just sketches and yeah, I have until recently I didn't realize how valuable but hearing Rob talk about it too, like really kind of sunk with me. It's like I do enjoy seeing other people's sketch art. Like I do like seeing their wit, you know, like I do like seeing like the rough and then how they got to where they got to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't why people wouldn't want to see mine too. Like maybe I should be keeping mine
Yeah,
instead
it's
of
fun.
just painting all the way over it and finishing it, and you never know like really how I got there. Yeah,
It's
I'm gonna
fun.
do that from now on.
My daughter she is an artist, and I'm always like, we're finding stuff that she drew when she was like 7, and she's like, I want to throw that away. And I'm like, you can't throw that away.
Yeah,
It's
don't.
a concept. I want that as a parent, you know.
Well,
and she
and
loves
also-
drawing dragons. Like that's
It's important.
Yeah,
As an
that's
artist,
what I
it's
started
important to
doing.
see where you've come from.
Yeah.
Like you want to keep your bad art. Always keep your bad art. Those
Well,
bad pine, you know, actually you have good pine trees, but your oak trees that suck, keep
No,
those because
no one wants my concept art. No.
because later on they're going to be great.
But my favorite thing, my daughter had an iPhone 4, an old iPhone 4 that we'd had, and was doing like time lapses of her drawing of dragons with her fingers on an iPhone 4. And so it's like crazy knowing that it was like, I think
Those are
she
the
was
tiny
maybe
ones,
like,
right?
she must have been like 8 to 10 years old. And she's just like, she's like pinching, drawing with her finger. And it's ridiculous to know that it was done with her finger on an iPhone 4 screen.
It's awesome though.
Yeah. So much fun. Okay. Close it up, Taylor. Let's give away these 2 mugs. Everyone's had plenty of time to enter. Tam loves cats. You were probably our last one, so congratulations, you got in. Giving away 2 mugs. Yeah. 2 mugs. Hopefully all of you have gone and subscribed. Please do. I put the link again in the live stream. Please go subscribe to Spare of Time's newsletter for a chance to win. And again, check out what his work in a store. All of those proceeds are going to Brian, BARSIDE, and the Gofundme. Prayers to Brian and his family.
Don't waste opportunity. Like I'm making no money. Buy the stuff and then help Brian.
Our first winner is Gray U. Gray U has won a Dusty Wheel mug, or what mug are you calling it there?
The Death of Kinslayer.
The Death of Kinslayer. So the Death of Kinslayer or the Dusty Wheel mug. So Gray U, which mug would you like? Tell us, please, which one you would like, and then we will give away the next one here. So there is some
nice and frosty.
You want Rob's. That's what it is, isn't it? Yeah,
yes.
I hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, this microphone's still on. Sorry.
People are excited about these. Like, I'm more than happy to make a bunch more and put them on my store of my old stuff.
I love your old stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we are gonna, I was gonna say this earlier, but we're also doing a sale for the Weekly Wheel News merchandise. So from the show until next What Wednesday, when you order, and I'll send you guys the link, but you use code Dusty Wheel 810, then you'll get 15% off your order of
Dusty Wheel 810. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah.
Dusty Wheel 810. So you want to where can is this on? Which store is this on?
Then
you want your link? You want to throw your link in live chat?
Yeah. Write that now.
So I see Gray U in chat. Congratulations, Gray. Please let us know which mug you would like. You can find us on social media. Oh, he said Dusty Wheel. Oh no, he just said I thought it would never happen. Yeah, I've been waiting on the Dusty Wheel option forever. Okay, so well, congratulations.
So you better get the Dusty Wheel one.
Good choice, sir.
Okay, Taylor, pick our second winner so we can let everybody get back to what they were doing for the day. Najara's Crafts. That's right. Najara's Crafts is our second winner of the night.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You did not win, Chad. I'm sorry about that, but maybe next time. Please do reach out to me on social media or reach out to us on Discord. You can find the links in the description below, and we will figure out. It sounds like Gray U wants the Dusty Wheel mug. So Najara, or I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm going for Najara Crafts. Please reach out to us on, like I said, social media or Discord, and let us know that you won, and people will point you in the right direction to find me. Just ask around here in chat, or like I said, in the link of the video, the description of the video, you can find it. So, okay, I will try to make sure I get both of your links out there, and then the links to the 2 ArtStation concept artists. I think it was Constantine, and now I'm Filip. So Constantine, Filip, if you're ever out there and ever see this, nice job on that work, and hopefully fans will go find your art there and follow what you're doing. So again, reach out to us here after this. Thank you both for showing up, talking about concept art, just talking about Wheel of Time art and your journeys as fans. This was meant to be a fun one, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed this. And don't forget to jump back here with us on Sunday. We're going to celebrate 3 years. That one's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a variety of guests. If you follow us on social media, you'll hear about how that develops this whole week. We'll be kind of telling you a little bit about it once a day until Sunday, and that's at 3 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to go 3 or 4 hours. 3 or 4 hours. Oh, Oliver's Ears just asked that question. The show will be 3 to 4 hours on Sunday. Just expect that, and there's more to come. So look out for that. I can't wait. Again, Michael Livingston, the author of Origins of the Wheel of Time, will be with us. Also, we'll be watching a premiere of Addison and Dre reacting to Winter Dragon. Who doesn't like that stuff? And possibly other stuff, Taylor? Possibly other stuff is going to happen that day. So, stuff.
I love stuff.
Hey, in regards to like the concept art and stuff like that, I found last night, I noticed that on LinkedIn that Outpost VFX, which is one of the companies that does the Wheel of Time, posted that they're hiring for a bunch of positions for the Wheel of Time Season 2. So if any of our audience is into that stuff and they do that, I'm going to tweet the link, and I'll put it in the chat here also of that job posting. So
sweet. That's awesome.
I just applied tonight, actually.
Yeah, so go apply, everyone. And I think that's it. Did we miss anything? Anything else? Any other questions, comments from you two gentlemen?
Just appreciate you having me on. First time guest, long time listener.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome finally seeing you here.
Rob, good to have you here too.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
We always had good conversations, man. Like, this is good.
Good times.
Yeah. Too many. We have 3 seasons of the show and many more years after that, at least, to talk about the Wheel of Time. I love all the fandom. I'm glad you found us, Chad. And for all of you that have found fandom now this late, there's plenty of decades left to just theorize and talk about the books and TV show now. So thank you, everybody, for showing up. It is time to go. We'll see you on Sunday. Can't wait. Thank you. As we say around here, good night from the Dusty Wheel, and smash to black.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel.
You went right to kill it. Look at you. You're already. You're just done. I mean, this is like this is
really well. And now I'm like, great, my turn.
And if you don't like that, and you want to say, well, Robert Jordan could have made the 2 rivers all white. He could have, but he didn't. So
just complimented me on my dress, and as you can clearly see, I'm sad.
I see Nakomi as something along the lines of a Shadar Haran analog.
It does make sense why it outlasted the breaking.
Yeah.
See, this is why I have Therese in the show, because she's going to correct everything that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dusty Wheel Show. What? Meme Off Challenge. Yay!
Pharaoh's like baby face mounted on like a huge body. So like all of a sudden,
this is not just a traditional fantasy, right? There are sci-fi elements. And just a moment ago, Rafe tweeted something. So let me get my guests in here with me, and probably I would say put in 70-80% of the work. I got to be over the shoulder and be like, no.